The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of UCW Radio. I'm your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis. And before we start, let me remind our listeners that we can be reached at ucwradio.com. Or you can call us at 323-215-1446. And if we're live, guess what? You're live. But definitely leave us your questions, or actually leave your questions and comments for our guest. Not so much for us, but for our guest, so that you can get involved. And I'm also taking questions or comments for our guests, for us, via Twitter at any time. You can tweet away. You can follow me at twitter.com/Luis Velasquez. That's LouisVelazquez. Now, on the show today, we will be featuring model, actress, and at some point, humanitarian, Anna Easteden. She is known for her performance as Bee Sting in Who Wants to Be a Superhero? Season 2, that was shown on the Sci-Fi Channel. She also co-starred in a couple of soaps, such as Passions and Days of Our Lives, as well as on the television series Bones and Medium and a whole host of others. She is currently working on 2 projects that are slated to be released this summer, I believe, and they are 2 films, The House of Branching Love and Sideways, and they both seem to be pretty good movies from what I've seen. Now, let's get to our interview with Anna Easteden.
All right, Anna, welcome to UCW Radio, and I want to thank you in advance for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Anna, you're a model and you're an actor. You've appeared on such shows as Bones, Medium, Who Wants to Be a Superhero, that was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Soaps such as Passions, Days of Our Lives, you on Law and Order, John from Cincinnati, and a whole host of others. I can't go through all of them because I'll be out of breath. What I like to do today, if it's okay with you, is give our listeners the opportunity to actually get better acquainted with you. So if it's okay, I'd like to start at the beginning.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right, perfect. You were born and raised in Finland, right?
Yes. I was born and raised in Finland, and in the middle of nowhere, actually. Helsinki is the capital of Finland.
Right.
And I was born 5 hours by car north of Helsinki, on a farm.
Oh, that's interesting. That must have been an interesting upbringing.
Yes. For me, though, I didn't appreciate the quietness and the beauty of the farm at all when I was little. Yeah. I just wanted to live in the city and be a city girl and get out and but now when I go back, it's so peaceful and quiet and so awesome and so relaxing. But I guess when you're little, you don't really see it that way.
Yeah, well, you know what? What happens when you're in an environment, you don't appreciate it until you're out of it, and you're like, oh, I want to go back, but you know, I guess that's how things work out. But when you were in Finland, you at what age you started modeling when you were over there? Because you were there till you were in your teens, right?
Yes. I actually talked my parents into taking me into modeling classes, which were over an hour away from where we lived, and they had to drive me there every week. And as soon as the modeling classes were over, I got an agent in Helsinki, and then things just started from there. I basically booked my first modeling job when I was 12.
Oh, wow.
And, it was something that I always wanted to do. And I lucked out that I got to do it.
Then you started at 12, and then you just kept on going. You know, can you tell us what were some of your modeling career highlights?
Well, some of the highlights were living in all these different countries and getting to do all these shoots in these exotic locations. Like one of my first big contracts was to go to Tokyo, and it was just fantastic. Just receiving the contract alone was fantastic because I got the contract and my parents read it and they were like, no way, this is not possible that you would actually make this much money. And I was like, well, I'm going to go. And they're like, no, you're not. And I ended up talking them into letting me go anyway. And
lucky you.
yeah, exactly. And then when I came back after a few months, they were actually surprised that I had made more money than the contract was. So that was one of the highlights, showing my parents, like, ha, see?
And now they love you more.
Exactly. And after that, we're like, okay, you can go back.
Well, sometimes you have to show something in order for people to believe in your dream.
Yeah.
And that happens
yeah, it
a lot.
sounds too good to be true.
Right. But hey, you know what? You did it. You made it happen, and you're still going forward. And you went from modeling, and then you kind of you went into acting. And for some, you have some models that it becomes a natural progression to go from modeling to acting, or other fields, other entertainment fields into acting. Whether it be stage, film, whatever it may be. What drew you into getting into the acting field?
Well, for me, it was kind of sort of an accident in a way, or it happened naturally because when I was in Tokyo, for example, I ended up then booking TV commercials as a model. So then you end up having to act without really having pursued it. So I did a bunch of TV commercials, and then I did some music videos. And then from there, I just kind of was like, well, maybe this is what I can do next. My thought was maybe you can't model forever.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah. So then it just kind of happened naturally. And then I went into theater, and then I started getting TV and film roles. So
now you just gave me a segue into the next question, because you've done stage acting before.
Yes.
How different is it for you than doing, let's say, a TV episode?
Well, it's different for me in a way that on stage you don't get a second chance. So in a way, I feel more pressure on stage because if you mess up your lines, you can't do a take two. Right. So if you mess it up, then you mess it up. So for me, it's theater acting is more difficult, and you have so many more lines to remember. You can't really record, a whole theater play in one day on film. So, that way it's more memorization and more pressure for me for theater. But I also love theater. I haven't done it for a while, but one of my favorite things was to do Sleeping Beauty on stage in Chicago, where I got to play Sleeping Beauty. I always said that was typecasting because I got to play a princess.
Right. But it's interesting how nowadays you see a lot of TV actors, big screen, little screen, whatever it may be, doing a lot of stage stuff. They're doing stage acting. I guess they're trying to, brush up their skills, or they're trying to get an appreciation of the arts. There's a lot of, you have some actors that just went into TV acting and never did stage. So. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm very happy that they're doing that, because sometimes theater, people don't watch as much theater as they do TV and film. So I'm very glad that they are doing that and reviving that form of acting for themselves and for others.
Well, that's good. Hopefully you hit the stage again, because this time I'll get to see you live.
Yeah, I would love it.
Excellent. Anna, do you see yourself at this point doing more TV projects in the future? And if so, what shows would you like to be associated with, or what type of shows?
Wow. Well, because there are so many different kinds of shows and genres that I want to work in. I mean, I would love to do comedies, and I would love to do dramas. Really, right now, when I think of it, there isn't any kind of genre or show that I wouldn't want to do.
Right.
Because I think that's the best part of acting, is that you get to be all these different people and all these different characters in different situations that you would never be in real life necessarily.
Escape reality for a
little
while.
Yeah.
That's That's what acting is about, especially, the greatest actors. They just escape their own reality. But go and actually take yourself and put yourself in that state of mind. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like Heath Ledger did it for the Batman movie, and it was like incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny too, because if for me, if I really do it fully, when the filming is over with that character, I kind of miss the character. I'm like, well, I don't want to let it go.
Right.
So it's kind of like you form this bond with that person who you were for a moment, and like, oh my gosh, well, goodbye.
Yeah. Well, you hang up the suit. Either that or your hubby's going to yell at you. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would depend what kind of character you were.
Yeah, well, watch out.
Like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That's funny. Now, you did some sci-fi stuff with on the Sci-Fi Channel. Who Wants to Be a Superhero? You played, what was the role that you played?
I played Easteden.
Easteden. Now, do you see yourself doing more of that type of work, or do you want to do more dramatic stuff? I know you said you were open, but do you see yourself? Would you see yourself better in a dramatic role so you can express, or actually showcase your acting skills?
Well, yes and no. I mean, most likely people will never win any kind of acting awards for roles like these things, because it's so out there. So it was so much fun, by the way, to do that shoot. It was so much fun because I got to be so evil and mean. Because you never get to do that in real life. Or I never do it in real life. So it was kind of fun. It was like, whoa, I can just say whatever I want, and people are okay with it. But yes, I would love to do more sci-fi stuff, and I got to work with Stan Lee. So that was pretty amazing.
That must be
an amazing man.
I mean, Stan Lee, when it comes to Marvel, he is the man. He's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I was very fortunate to get to spend some time with him on that set.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about something that's outside of your acting and modeling career. A lot of our listeners may not be aware of this, but you are also a humanitarian. Can you tell us more about the organization or organizations that you work with and what you do for them?
Sure. Actually, for a couple of months, I, in a way, left acting and modeling, and I went to Bratislava, Slovakia, a few years ago or quite a few years ago now, when they had just split or they were Czechoslovakia, and now they were Czech and Slovakia. So they had no laws in the country, and they were getting all these refugees coming into their country, and there were no rules whether they could stay or whether they had to leave. So I went to Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, and I worked with United Nations Human Commissioner for Refugees, and helped with the situation there. I did even a legal research study for the European laws on asylum, and they passed their laws partially according to my study. So that was pretty great feeling to have impacted a country's, beginning stages of a country. So that was pretty fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. One person, one voice to make change. And I mean,
yes.
That's something, just going back to, civil rights, Martin Luther King, when he, one man that created change that was still changing, and it's good that you did something like that. I think that's amazing. And I commend you for that. I applaud you on that one. That's good. That's good. Now we're gonna go from humanitarian, event to your current event. You're currently, or you did work on 2 films. And
yes.
Right now, they're scheduled to be released this year in 2009, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's touch on them one by one, because I want to give you the opportunity to talk about them and really, let us know what's going on. The first one is Sideways. Now, what type of film is it, and what's your role in the film?
Well, Sideways is a remake of the original Sideways that many people probably saw in America. That was a very popular film. And this Sideways is a Japanese version of the original Sideways. So they have the 4 main characters are Japanese characters, And my character is an American character who works at a winery in Napa Valley. And we shot it in Napa Valley area with these Japanese actors. Actually, one of the actors is Rinko Kikuchi, who was nominated for an Oscar from Babel.
Okay.
Yeah, and this movie is opening in Tokyo in October.
You should have a warm reception for that one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, exactly. I actually haven't been to Tokyo in a couple of years, so I think it would be fun to go there again.
I think they're going to welcome you with open arms.
Thank you. I hope so. I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will. Now, Sideways, when it hits Japan, when it hits Tokyo, are they going to have a translation at some point? Do you think?
I'm not sure. The film, when we filmed it, the Japanese characters all spoke Japanese, and then when they were interacting with American characters, we all spoke English. So, the Japanese actors got to do it in 2 languages, and then the rest of us, we did it only in English. I'm thinking that, for the Japanese audience, it might be dubbed all in Japanese, but I'm not very sure of that yet. But hopefully it will also come out in America. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think they may do that just because of people involved, and you get mass distribution when it's DVD. I think that'll be awesome.
Yes, for sure.
Now that sounds like a great movie, and I saw the original Sideways here in the U.S., and it was pretty funny.
Yes.
But now you worked on a second movie. It's called The House of Branching Love. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question. What type of film is this, and what's your role in the film?
Well, this film is opening in Finland, actually in a couple of weeks, August 21st, and it's directed by Mikko Kaurismäki, who is a very, very famous Finnish director. And this movie, actually, it's funny, because my character, I play a character called Nina, who's one of the leading characters, and she's a college student slash prostitute who makes her money to study in college by selling herself. And when I first imagined myself in the role, I thought that this movie is pretty dramatic and pretty, dark for my character in a way. But it is a comedy, and I've heard from the preview audiences, that the test audiences, that it has been hilarious. So I haven't seen the film myself yet, but I will next week. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I guess it is a comedy.
And you'll be going home.
Yes, I'll be going home for a couple of weeks for a press tour and a premiere. So that'll be really exciting.
That's great. You get to go to your parents. I told you.
I know, exactly. Again.
Again. Well, I'm sure by this time they believe in you. Which is a good thing. I'm sure they believed in you even before you embarked on your modeling career. They're probably just worried about you getting out there early, like most parents do. But again, you're branching out. Even today, you're still growing as an actress, an actor, and future's ahead of you. I'm going to ask you a tough question, and usually for most people, this is a tough question. But who has been your favorite actor to date to work alongside of?
Wow.
I stumped you.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so many great actors and so wonderful people. My gosh. Who has been my favorite? I mean, like in this Finnish film, The House of Branching Love, my co-star, or the leading man in the movie, he is such a sweetheart. I don't think I've ever met a person with such a big heart. And just as a person, because he's the way he is, he's one of my favorite people to work with. And his name is Hanna-Pekka Björkman. Wow. Then, of course, it's always wonderful to work with actors when you're really in the scene and it's so real and true. And one of those actors was an American actor called Chris McKenna, who I shot a really intense scene with. and it was just so intense that later on people came up to me and asked if I was okay.
Well, you know what? That shows how good you did.
Yes, it actually got to be a little bit annoying to me. I was like, yes, I'm fine. I was acting.
Well, that shows your effect on people. That's pretty awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want you to go any further into that question because we don't want you to, I don't want to put you under the gun too much, because you can't start naming names and someone's going to feel slighted because they were left out. And
I know, exactly. It's like, don't you remember us?
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked a tough question, but I had to cut that one off.
Yeah.
Now, Anna, do you have any other upcoming projects beyond the two films?
Yes, I do have this other film that I just mentioned with Chris McKenna called A Voice in the Dark. We just shot that this summer, and it will be coming out somehow next year. It's a great ensemble cast, written by a wonderful writer called Adam Siegel, and we shot that here in LA.
Okay, and is that an indie, or is it going to be picked up by one of the majors?
It's an indie film, so most likely it'll first go to some festivals, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah, well, that's where it all begins, That's exactly where it all begins. Because even, if you look at the big movie of the last Oscars was The Wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was big. That was a big thing for Mickey Rourke and all the actors in it, and that was initially an independent film. And look at what happened, because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
It was a great film. I saw that. And I actually got to go to a screening of that movie where Mickey Rourke and Marisa Tomei, they came and answered some questions afterwards. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, a friend of mine was the associate producer of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah.
That was like a work in progress for a number of years. But again, with smaller films, if you make them well enough, if they get embraced that much, you don't know where it's going to take you.
Right.
So hopefully that role of what you did in that movie you filmed this summer, it may be the one for you. Hopefully.
Right.
I'm going to say a prayer for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, now Anna, you're welcome. Anna, let me just ask you this: how can fans, because you have people listening right now, and they want to be able to stay in touch with you. How can they stay on the cutting edge of your career? Find out what's going on, updates, whether you're going to be on the red carpet, whatever you're doing. This is your official website. Do you have a Twitter, MySpace, or things of that nature?
Yes, well, I think I have it all.
Okay, awesome.
I do have an official website, and it's just AnnaEasteden.com. And I also do have a MySpace and Twitter and Facebook, and I think they're all pretty much just like MySpace.com / Anna Easteden. I think they all just say Anna Easteden on them. So, yeah.
All right, excellent. So everyone can Twitter Anna at twitter.com / Anna Easteden. Also MySpace, your official website is AnnaEasteden.com. Now I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give you the floor to plug whatever you want to plug. So if you have something you want to speak about, here's your time.
Well, thank you. Well, of course, I would love to get more friends on all those medias that I mentioned earlier, or you mentioned. And if people are in Finland, please go to see The House of Branching Love. And if people are in Tokyo, please go to see Sideways. And hopefully I will see people there. And I just wish everybody a great fall, and I wish everybody happiness in the whole world.
Excellent. Anna, let me just say it's been a great pleasure, an honor speaking with you today. I'm very confident that we are going to see a lot more of you on the big screen, on the little screen, in the near future, and hopefully some of your projects get the recognition from the Movie Association so that we can see more of you being commended for your acting ability.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure talking to you as well. And thank you for inviting me to the show.
Excellent. You gave us a lot of insight, and I really do thank you for that. And I think that our listeners found out a little bit more about you, which they're able to connect with you a little more, and I think that is important. If it's okay, Anna, I'd like to follow up with you when your films are released and get some updates, and things of that nature. If that's okay with you.
Sure, that's absolutely great with me, yeah.
All right, perfect. Anna, thank you again. And we look forward to revisiting with you very soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, that was an excellent interview with Anna Easteden. This is a girl that you definitely want to keep tabs on. So go to her website. That's AnnaEasteden.com. That's ANNAEASTEDEN.com. She has MySpace. So MySpace.com / Anna Easteden. Also Twitter. Twitter.com / Anna Easteden, and Facebook and any other social media that's out there. You want to keep in touch with her career, that's the way to do it. She's a great person, great celebrity, and she has great things ahead of her, and you will want to follow her because I just have a strange feeling that we will see her at a major award ceremony here in the United States at some point in the near future.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.